Hi, my name is Janice. I'm a fitness instructor and a yoga therapist. And today I'd like to introduce you to the wall. And so walls are great props. Everybody has one at their house. You can use them for some great strength training. So now we have the wall for some upper body strength, which is great because they don't go anywhere. So we're going to do a wall push-up, and we're going to do a couple different kinds. So the first one, I'm going to bring my hands to about shoulder width, shoulder height. They might even be a little wider. You can experiment here with what feels right for you. Spreading out my fingers, and maybe press the fingers into the wall a little bit. Try to relax my shoulders down a little bit here. Maybe think of pulling your navel towards your spine so you're not drooping your spine. You could even hold a block between your thighs if you choose to. So from this position, for the push-up, it's just letting the elbows go out to the side. This is a fairly manageable exercise for most bodies. And to make it more difficult or a little more weight bearing, the further your feet go, the more weight on your upper body, keeping in mind that you want to avoid headbutting the wall. Okay. And your heels don't have to stay on the ground, so they might lift. So there's a couple other ways you can challenge your triceps. And so one way is the one arm push-up. Now, if I keep my hands where they are and I take one arm off, I'm pretty lopsided. So I'll take the hand that's on the wall and move it a little bit into the center. Okay, the other hand's behind me, palm facing out to encourage the shoulder to externally rotate, gathering the navel towards the spine. And now I really feel the tricep. And it doesn't have to be very large in order to be a lot of effort. This is also great weight bearing for upper body, and the wrist is the most common break in the human body because we don't do a lot of weight bearing on our wrists and our hands. So this might be another nice option for you. So I'm really feeling it already in this lower underarm area. I'm going to switch arms just to show you. Again, for the one arm push-up, I'm going to bring the hand a little more into the center of the wall so I don't feel lopsided. Other hand behind you, palm facing out. And then just see, you only have to go as far as your body allows you to go. And some things that sometimes I'll notice is the lower body drooping on people. In that case, you could hold a block between your knees or your thighs. The other thing I'll see is people lead with their head and try to reach it with their nose. So try to avoid that, just keeping the body as stable as possible and just focus on the elbow bends and straightens. And that's it. And how many to do depends on you. Maybe doing a few until you're feeling some fatigue and then asking yourself if you can do one or two more. Okay, so there's your one arm push-up to activate tricep, a little bit weight bearing for the bones in the wrist. And then you can kind of shake them out after you're done. That's a nice thing to do when you're doing wrist wall work, is to take some moments to release the wrists in between. So the next one I wanted to show you was sort of a different style of a push-up. And so it's going to be mimicking kind of plank position when you're lying on the ground or when you're doing work on the ground. So if I have my hands at shoulder width and I let my elbows come down to the wall, they're lower than my shoulder. And I'm aiming to have my elbow at shoulder height. So usually I'll bring my hands a little higher, okay, a little closer together for this one. Feet walk out. I'm just very slowly going to bend the elbows until they come to the wall, noticing that when my elbow reaches the wall, it's about shoulder height and it's about shoulder width. This is another way to work the tricep. The heels do not have to stay on the floor. They might lift. And I'm already feeling it in the triceps. So this is a really nice movement for the triceps. Good. I'll just take one or two more. Notice, knowing that you can do, a set of 8, a set of 10. You could count and see how many until you feel some fatigue. Take a break and then do another set of that. Maybe it's 6, maybe it's 8. All right, good. And then when you take a moment to come out, shaking out the arms. And then we'll just do a couple more things here for stretching up the front body. So one nice position I really like is the forearm plank on the wall. So we've already kind of been here. And from this position, I'll get people to do a couple shoulder shrugs. So shoulders up and down a couple times. Yeah, maybe one more. And encouraging your shoulders to stay down. Very slowly walk your elbows up the wall. Only as far as you can go without your elbows leaving the wall. So however far they get you comfortably. One more little shoulder shrug. Good. And then walk your elbows back down to that first position. And then the last thing we'll do here for the upper body is gently open out to the side and come back. Which always kind of reminds me of the Queen's wave. Can practice that. So it's a really gentle way to start opening up the front of the chest here. Maybe one more on the other side. Good. Great. Wonderful. And then coming off the wall, take a moment. Another one that I like to do, this is great if you've had some shoulder injuries, you're working on a frozen shoulder, it's just like a spider walk up the wall. So just spider walking up the wall to the furthest range of motion for you. Some people like to lean in and kind of get a little bit of a stretch here, if that's okay for your shoulder, and then sliding back down. So maybe just try that a couple more times. Just the idea of stretching and leaning into the wall, and then coming back down. All right, good. Maybe one more.